welcome to the Opposition Preview. So, hello everyone and welcome to another Opposition Preview. The games are coming thick and fast and that's not always a good thing for Norwich fans. And for Swansea fans, it's Swansea at the weekend at the Liberty Stadium. We've got Carwyn from Only Swans. How are you today, Carwyn?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the football, I guess it's all good, I guess. But yeah, we will touch on Swansea because it has been, I guess, somewhat of an underwhelming start for you guys. I guess a lot of people had you kind of down as dark horses, done a fair bit of business over the summer. That was quite exciting. You've not won in three, only scored one in your last three. And you lost 1-0 to QPR midweek, and only won once at home all season in the league.
It's really not good enough for the moment for us. I think the expectation was when you spend £20 million in this league, you have to be up there, don't you? There's no world where you can't see yourself up there and then all of a sudden we're mid-table, we can barely, I've got it written down here. I mean, we don't look like we'd score in 900 minutes of football sometimes, let alone 90. It's really not going well. I mean, a lot of questions have been asked the last few weeks about the system, about the manager, and I think, I like to give the manager time. I'll give absolutely any manager time, but I think it's looking pretty bleak. I don't see it lasting.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that because you guys are sitting sort of mid-table. I guess a bit more security than what it is for Norwich. Norwich look to be very much sticking with Manning, although the fans are very much Manning out. So I guess that comes on to my next question: is Sheehan under a lot of pressure? Then obviously come in late last season. It was originally as a caretaker role, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Made permanent. That never seems to bode well with clubs after a successful caretaker role. So is he under any pressure?
I think he's got to be. I think a lot of fans are really starting to question him now. Do you know what? It's quite hard. So at the end of the day, social media is an echo chamber, so you can never really get the true consensus from a fan base. But by all means, I'd say the majority are very much either on the fence or out rather than in full support of him. And I'd say the owners have got to be in a similar place because they put so much money together. And to be honest, it's such an exciting time to support a club right now. You wouldn't know that, because of results. But we've just had Snoop Dogg come in, Luka Modric come in. Like, I don't think in this sort of feel-good period, they're going to be looking to stick with him for too long. I think they want to sort of win now.
Yeah, I guess it's also about getting sort of that the morale up within the supporters as well. If the supporters are feeling negative, but there's so many sort of positive ongoings surrounding the club off the pitch, it's never a good look when on the pitch it's very, very dire. But just looking at your squad, I had a little look going into this opposition preview, and I am just massively impressed by sort of the quality you've got in your squad. Obviously, Adam Eder, as all Norwich fans will know, he's a clutch match winner off the bench. Zidane Anusa from Hacken, you signed in the summer. I'm a massive fan of him. Cameron Burgess from Ipswich, as much as it pains me to say it, is a very good centre half. Malik Yakuye on loan from Brighton, a very hot prospect. Manuel Benson on loan from Burnley as well, I believe. That transfer window there, just those players, just to name a few, is incredible business. Are any of them clicking for you?
Inusa looks pretty good. He does look really good. Definitely what I sort of expected. Really direct, really, really pacey. Like, he's dangerous. Just about our only dangerous player of late, really. Adam Eder really hasn't had much of a shot. I think he's coming in quite a horrible situation, really, because I mean, they've signed him as the number one striker, and then our striker, who looked like he was about to be on the move, scored for 5 games in a row, and then sort of took that spot. And now he played last night, to be fair, Eder, but it's a very awkward situation. I think it's going to be an awkward situation for any manager. The new one, the one currently, is going to have to be swapping them in and out, because at the end of the day, if you have a striker who's scoring goals, but you also have a striker who's £7 million, you kind of can't keep the £7 million one on the bench, can you? But yeah, in terms of the others, Cameron Burgess looks pretty decent. He's not a really Swansea mould player, I wouldn't say. I'm quite surprised considering he's came from Ipswich, and Ipswich are known for that sort of passing under McKenna, but he loves a long ball, which really isn't Swansea City. Malik Yalkoué really hasn't looked fantastic. Still holding out hope though. I mean, he's pretty young. And same with Benson, really. I think the theme with most of our signings is they could well just look lackluster at the moment because of the style. It's hard to tell really whether they're actually just not at the level we expected them to be, or whether it is literally just down to the style of play. And it wouldn't shock me if it is the style of play.
Yeah, no, I think Norwich fans are very much in the same boat with our own team. It's we have sort of spent 55 million in the summer, and not one of those signings has looked up to scratch at all, apart from maybe Jovan Makama, who we signed for I think about £1 million. So it wasn't even a huge fee, and it's that case of, is the system suiting these players? Under Liam Manning, his system does bore me to death. It is horseshoe football. It's horrendous to watch, and I'm starting to think now that it might just be the manager stifling the players. But even your current squad, there's so many sort of top quality Championship players. Ben Kabanga, I think, is the one that's sort of on the watch list for everyone. He is a top quality centre back. I guess keeping hold of him in the summer, and I guess throughout the last couple of summers, has been huge.
He's the massive one, I'd say. I mean, making him captain was such a fantastic decision. I think we pretty much had a choice last season of, do we keep Harry Darling or do we keep Ben Cabango? And I think in my mind and most fans' mind, Cabango is the answer. I think Cabango is the better player. But yeah, he's massive. He's fantastic. In the Championship, he's recently been getting caps for Wales, so can't beat it. Can't beat it.
We will touch on the common interest that is Harry Darling. Norwich fans, we've seen sort of a mixed bag from Harry Darling. We've seen some defensive heroics, some really good performances in a Norwich shirt away at Coventry when we only conceded one, but conceded 4 in XG. Harry Darling was instrumental to sort of keeping us level in that game. What else can we expect from Harry Darling? Obviously, you've seen plenty of Harry Darling. We've only seen a few months of Harry Darling. What can we expect?
I think Harry Darling is sort of very hot and cold. Our fans absolutely loved him, I'll be honest. But in a way, I suppose he sort of underachieved here because he came here under Russell Martin, of course, to be that sort of stalwart at the back. Like, he was meant to be the marquee signing of our window in 2022. And he didn't even get a look in. Nathan Wood was playing ahead of him. And then, he did come into the fold eventually and became the partner of Ben Cabango. But I don't know. I always felt like he was good some weeks, he was terrible other weeks. He's fantastic at playing out from the back, really good at playing out from the back. But when it comes to defending, he was never anywhere near Ben Cabango's level. He's one of them who will get the fans on their feet because, he loves to shout every time he makes a challenge. He's a performer. But I don't think we saw the best of him. I think you'll definitely see more out of him than we did, potentially.
I do hope so, because we've seen, like I say, we've seen a mixed bag. We've seen some horror shows from Harry Darling at Ipswich away when he travelled to the halfway line with the ball and Ipswich won it back and then went on and scored. But we've seen, like I say, some heroic defending from Harry Darling. But obviously, as we're touching on players that have played for Norwich and Ipswich, we're introducing a little game on Bleed Norwich, is to see if you can name 5 players that have played for Swansea and Norwich.
I think I can do it quite easily. Martin Olsen.
Yeah, Martin Olsen. I've got
Leroy Fur.
Yeah, Leroy Fur.
Kyle Norton.
Kyle Norton, yeah.
Ryan Bennett.
Ryan Bennett, yeah.
Adam Eder.
And Adam Eder. There we go. You could have even had Harry Darling, Shemislav
Waheta
Waheta.
Jones.
Yeah, Corey Smith. Yeah, Nelson Oliveira as well.
That's a great one. That is a really great
real
one.
throwback. But yeah, no, there we go. So you've got top marks in that challenge. We're going to go through all the Championship fans this season and see if they can also get top marks in that. But we will just touch on Swansea again. What is sort of the expectation this season? Like you say, you're languishing in mid-table at the minute, but you've got a manager who you don't think is going to be here for too much longer. You've got a squad that does have a lot of quality. Is the expectation still to maybe push for those top 6 spots?
I think the expectation has to be playoffs. as I said, I don't think you can really get away with spending so much money in this league, having that level of quality, or at least perceived quality, and not being close to that sort of sixth spot. And at the moment, we're nowhere near it. And you look at some of the teams who are up there too, they're no different to us. I mean, they're all teams who have been in the championship for years. It's actually really quite fun this year because all the teams are the teams that have been there for just as long as we have in the league. But yeah, I think, it all comes down to what happens with the manager situation. Similarly with you, I suppose. I think, you never know. He could pick it up from Saturday, but I really don't see it. I think there's a good chance that both of us will be looking for a loss on Saturday, if anything.
Yeah, no, that's it. Just to get the managers out and get a system change.
Yeah,
But it's been interesting because obviously you guys have been in the championship for a good number of years, more than Norwich. This is now, I think, our fourth straight season
yeah,
in
it's our
this.
seventh.
Yeah, it's a long slog, isn't it? Especially when you've come down from the Premier League. You've had a few, I think, either one or two stints in the playoffs as well after that, and it's now sort of where do you sit with Swansea now? Is it like do or die this season to go back up to the Premier League?
No, I think we've got plenty of time on our hands. We've got really good owners now. That was our issue for the first sort of 5, 6 years in the championship, as our owners were absolutely dire. But we've got some, really good owners who care about the club, who are, of course, bringing in star names from all areas of the world. So we'll see where we go, but I don't think our time is up. I think we've got plenty of time. It is very interesting though. We have now been in the championship as long as we were in the Premier League, which is always crazy when I remember that, because it does not feel like that long, to be honest.
But we will touch on sort of the player side of it. What players should Norwich fans be fearful of? We just spoke about a few. You said Anusa is sort of a player of real quality. Is there anyone else that Norwich fans should be fearful of? Well, I guess everyone with how good we are at the minute. But yeah, is there any names that you can tick off for us?
Ethan Galbraith in the midfield is absolutely brilliant. He played right back on Wednesday, so he might play there again, but it didn't really work. But yeah, he's phenomenal. I don't think he'll be here for long. I think he's destined for a Premier League move. Inusa, of course, as I said, like, he's really direct, really pacey. He causes fullbacks trouble. Definitely one I'd keep an eye on. If Josh Tymon is on form again, they play on the same wing. They both work really well together, both really fast. Josh Tymon's really good at playing a final ball. And I mean, to be honest, if I had to go for one more suggestion, depending on how the game goes, we do concede a lot of chances at the moment. Our goalkeeper, Lawrence Vigouroux, he is absolutely brilliant, which is very fortunate because at the moment, for a team who spent a good amount on their defence, they can't defend.
Yeah, no, don't I know that one too many times. Christ, it's been yeah, defensively awful for Norwich as well. What players are you fearful from Norwich's perspective? Let's hope you don't name any of that are currently out injured, because we do have an ever-growing injury list at the minute as well.
I actually don't know much about Norwich's squad. No idea. Genuinely,
Yeah.
I have no clue. I just really hope we have a theme where every ex-player who plays against us scores. So I do really hope that Harry Darling does not score. Put it that way. That's the one thing I'm fearful of for Saturday.
Yeah, I think the only two that will sort of cause any threat either side of the pitch is going to be Darling, Kovacevic, our goalkeeper. Similar to you guys, a goalkeeper that sort of kept us in games in most cases, and Josh Sargent as well, who is
Yeah,
obviously when on form, when being given a supply, he is probably one of the best strikers in the division. But currently, in the last 7 games, hasn't been given anything to feed off. So it's been quite a painful watch for him. But we'll go into the score predictions for Saturday. Carwyn, give us your score prediction.
1-0 Norwich.
Crikey. I've gone 2-0 Swansea. Both of us really not confident. I haven't seen a Norwich win since August, so it's been a painful watch.
I certainly haven't seen a Swansea win in a long, long time. I think that
Crikey.
our last one was, what, Nottingham Forest, maybe?
Well,
It
to
was
be
Blackburn. It was Blackburn. It wasn't that long ago. But our 3 wins this season have came against teams in the bottom 3. So
Well, there we go. We're currently in the bottom three.
We're
So
gonna beat you then.
yeah, there you go. There you go. If history proves right, then yes, you will. But Carwyn, thank you very much for coming on. Everyone, go check out Only Swans on all platforms. All their links will be down in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video, and we will see you next time.